fun topic. Raiola coming to Buford. You should have seen some of the high school coaches and their excitement about that.
Yes. So let's talk about the fallout of that. Like I know like as soon as we posted our last episode, that happened.
Yes.
And we haven't really talked since that happened. I know I tried to do a little reaction piece and things like that. Just, but let's get into that. Like how, like all of your coaching friends down there, I've been trying to call my cousin. I can't get him on the phone to see how excited he is because he's the offensive coordinator. He's the offensive coordinator at North Gwinnett. So I guarantee you he's super excited.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say super excited, I say that as sarcastically as possible.
Well, one thing, Buford missing last year, they had Justice Haynes who came in. Really, really good football program. So I'm not taking that away from them. And they got some great kids. Gwinnett's huge. And they're right smack dab in the middle of it. You can sneeze and then you're like at a new school, in Gwinnett, and more, and far more than I do.
North is like North Gwinnett's like 10 miles away, if that, from Buford.
It's
crazy.
I mean, it's not. So when I saw the news break, I think you texted me or I texted you. I was like, oh my God. I had heard rumors. Here in Georgia, you're going to hear rumors about who's going where. So I get a call and said that it's true. And I was like, well, dang, that's nice. You know what I mean? For me, it doesn't really bother me, because at the end of the day, I got to coach my team. Does it give you an advantage? Maybe, because Buford was needing a quarterback. That's one thing they were missing last year during the playoff run. But man, you really can't do anything about it. And the fact that Raiola is coming to Georgia, the move makes sense. So if you're moving to Georgia, Buford's in Gwinnett, which is literally an hour away from Athens. Your family's moving over here to Georgia. It just makes sense to go to that school.
It makes total sense.
That school.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
I'm glad. I mean, it's great. I mean, I can't wait to see, what he does here. He went to a really good school. I think he went to Chandler in Arizona. So, I mean, that is a really, really top-notch program. So, I mean, he's playing really good football. Now he's just playing football in Georgia because he's going to the University of Georgia.
And now finally he'll be able to turn some guys there at Buford that don't normally go to Georgia. Like Buford's like the anti-Georgia pipeline. It's weird.
We get linemen out of Buford.
Yeah.
So that's really it that we get up in there. Dallas Lee, what's his name? Colton. I played with him that game.
Colton Miller.
Lineman out of there.
Is it Miller?
No.
Colton. There you go.
Yeah. So, you get those guys that come in, but they're linemen. You never really get the skilled guys. And, we're good on linemen right now. We'll take a couple more. Anybody listening, we really appreciate y'all and love y'all. But, skilled guys, quarterbacks, one of the receivers. So, that we got really good receivers here in Georgia. So
we got some really good ones coming in too. We've got some.
It's going to be fun too.
Yep, he's going to have plenty of targets. And then KJ Bolden, who's there at Buford, he's undecided. Maybe Dylan Raiola. Maybe.
Come on up.
Yeah. So like I know all of Gwinnett County's like, you got to be kidding me. and they're all mad because they couldn't get him. That's all it is.
Yeah, you couldn't. Or you didn't know that he was coming.
You didn't know he was coming, and then he pops up at Buford.
I kind of got a heads up. He was coming to Georgia, but I didn't think Buford would be the school. But then when I heard he was going to Buford, it just made sense.
You should. Well, if you knew he was coming to Georgia, you should have reached out. You'd be like, "Hey, Dylan, bro, come down to the swamp. You need to come down You need to come down to where, man. This is the place to be. We are state champions. You get to be coached by me. And by me, I mean you.
And for anybody listening, I do not recruit players. That is a big thing that's going on in Georgia right now. It's a big old stink down here. So, people
it's
coaching
10 times worse than Georgia. It's 10 times worse than Atlanta. Because they're closer.
It's bad. Well, mainly because, the schools are like 5 miles apart from each other, So
yeah, and they're
like,
all
for
huge.
instance, McEachin's right here, and then Hillgrove's right here. Like, it's literally like across the street. You can see the school, from school to school. So I mean,
It's insane. Like,
it's the way of the world now. Either you adapt or die.
Yeah,
I'm not saying go out and do it. But,
yeah, y'all are a little more spread out.
Program. It's just like college football, in the transfer portal. Everybody talk about tampering, which we've talked about in on our show all the time. Because it does happen. So either adapt or you
it
die.
happens, man. It happens. You just gotta figure out a way to. If you make your culture good enough, the tampering really doesn't matter. And a lot.
No.
Like, if a kid's gonna go, they're gonna go. It doesn't matter. Like, I could call down to where, and let's say I'm trying to get your quarterback, right? Let's say I'm trying to get him to go. If he wants to go, he'll listen to me. If he doesn't, he'll be like, no, I'm good. Click.
It's real simple, guys.
Yeah, it's like, ex receiver at Ware County. Innsworth has a great program. We're known we're known throughout the Southeast. Blah blah blah. And if he's even remotely thinking about leaving, he will listen. Otherwise, he won't. Like, that's how you fix tampering. If you have a good enough culture, like I presume that you guys have, because I mean, it just seems like you guys have things clicking on all cylinders down there. Like, I don't foresee that happening. But like in Gwinnett County, like, everything's very volatile in Gwinnett County, more so than Cobb, more so, And then they poach players from like Grady, Douglas. I'm sure they go down to Atlanta and poach some of those players too, and get them to move into their zones and things. And so it's if you really did a deep dive into that, you would be astonished at what you would find. You'd be blown away. You'd be like, whoa.
You could write a #1 selling book on what's going on, up there. But, I'm happy for him. I think the whole family's uprooting and coming over, which is great. So it's a bona fide move, man. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does here. How he reacts to the heat, because over there it's dry heat. Over here it's this thing called humidity. I don't think he's really, accustomed to, but it's not fun.
I mean, no. Yeah, y'all's OTA, I'm sure, was very fun today. It's been very hot here too. Yeah, it's been.
You got the wet bowl about it. I'm talking more.
It ain't good. It ain't promising for that day. You going inside the gym, bud. Yeah, we had the hot weather too. I really enjoyed your tweet where you were like, now let me get this straight. Mother Nature cries for a week and a half. Now it's hot girl summer.
Yeah, it was hot girl summer.
I'm like, oh.
It was wonderful because everything's drying here, because I mean it literally rained for like a week and a half. Like, it was like the Jumanji Jurassic Park rain too. Like, it wasn't just a little sprinkle here, dog. It was raining. I had poles in my yard, and now it's like dry.
Now it's like crunch. Yeah, it's I read that tweet to my wife. I read that tweet to my. I got an audible laugh out of that. I don't usually get that. An audible laugh.
One of my kids said I was dumb funny. I don't know what that means, but I guess it means I'm pretty funny. I'm dumb funny.
Just hit the fun. Just focus on the funny part. Just focus on the funny part.
It's great.
Speaking of having their own glossary, Gen Z, they have their own glossary.
Absolutely, but
it's like this thick.
Absolutely. We came in 7th in the Directors Cup this year, which is really good. And it's the highest we've been, I think I said 15 years, something like that. So,
shout out to Josh Brooks, man. He's getting it done, man.
The whole crew. I saw Shout out to everybody on our recruiting circuit at Georgia as well. The diversity that we have, the way that they're able to, get recruits in and, show them the true Georgia way and things like that. So of all the bad things, negative things trying to come out of Athens right now, there's a lot of positive things as well that overshadow those things too. So we'd be remiss if we didn't mention those things as well. So, it's a great time to be in Athens right now.
Yeah, it is. Despite all the drama you're reading about, despite the articles and exposés of a rogue program and all that stuff, there's some really I know you're excited about that. You're excited as much about that as getting the wet bulb out at 9 a.m. So I hear you. But despite all of that, you've got a College World Series ring that's going to enter the dugout at Georgia, Wes Johnson. You have, Mike White, who is presumably turning the corner. He's doing pretty well in the transfer portal for men's basketball. Women's basketball is trending upward. They had a decent run after being down for a couple of seasons and having some tough luck. They had a nice run to the Sweet 16. Lost to Iowa, who was national runner-up. They had, so in softball, we made a super regional, got beat by the national runner-up at Florida State. Had a good run there. Tennis had a few national championships. Track and field did very well. Women's soccer, I have no idea how women's soccer did. The golf team did well. So I mean, sports are starting to trending up. Josh Brooks, I think, is starting to clean some things up in the athletics department and is starting to get some good coaches in here. So that's good to see.
Absolutely. And, it's the thing, when you spend money, great things happen. So when you spend the money and invest in your programs, we're moving everything kind of out there. Near the softball complex and things like that. I mean, football is football, baseball is getting a whole, new deal that they're building as well. So, I mean, when you put the time and effort and money into sports, you get the top-notch athletes that you want and you win. And when you win, people want to be involved. People want to come to your school. People want to be a part of that. So, Josh is doing a great job. All the coaches, across the board are doing a great job. So, I'm a proud alum. Congratulations to you guys.
Same here.
And hopefully next year we win that thing.
Hopefully next year we win that thing. We get a three-peat. Maybe, it would be so sick if we said, you know what, LSU, I see your women's championship and your baseball championship. We're going to win in the big three. What if we won a national championship? We did a three-peat, a men's tourney, and a College World Series in the same year. I think collectively the everyone's heads in the world would explode.
Absolutely. Then you'd be reading all other kinds of stories about us.
Can you imagine that man that lives somewhere down in Metro Atlanta that writes for that fish wrapper? Can you imagine? Ooh. He's like, oh boy, it's going to be insufferable now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Media days is going to be interesting for him.
Absolutely. And going to, I feel, for Kirby now, because somebody's going to ask those questions, things like that. But at the same time, how much more positive things are going on in Georgia right now. Came out of spring injury free, football wise. My quarterback situation is pretty much set. Offensive line is great. Defense is still knocking the hell out of people. So, I mean, the three-peat is not, far-fetched by any means. It's the point of how great does Georgia want to be? Can you do it? Sacrifice the things that you're willing to put in to be great. And right now, coming out of spring the way we did and leading into the summer, I think we can make a run this thing one more time.
Let's win the SEC East one last time. Let's win the SEC as divisional champions one last time. Let's go into the new model as three-peat champions and kings of the conference. Let's do it. Absolutely. And we're going to tell you why over the next few weeks. We're going to slowly tell you why that I think this schedule sets up favorably. Can't say that word all of a sudden. We're going to tell you why I think Dominic Lovett's going to be the true X factor in this offense, why Carson Beck is perfect for this role, what Michael Williams is going to do on a national level, and why I think Cedric Van Pran is going to be a first-round pick. And I'm going to make my case for Brock Bowers being top player in college football.
There's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt. And I'm excited for our secondary. This is what I'm excited because, if you go back and watch the LSU game, go back and watch the Ohio State game, that was the biggest thing that everybody talked about going to the national championship game, which we all know how that went. But a couple of those guys are gone. So now, like I said, after me seeing spring and news has come out, and seeing the depth charts and things like that, those guys that have come in, like my man Nyland Green, my guy.
That's been your guy from day one. I love it.
Yeah, I've been with him since day one. So just seeing what they've done, and physicality they play with, and the communication that they have. I mean, because that's always been the biggest thing in Georgia. Front seven is going to be great. What about the back end? The back end right now, I would say is our strongest position on defense is the back end.
Yeah, I mean, we'd get beat because there'd be lack of communication. We'd get beat because we had some guys in there that didn't understand coverage principles and would bust coverages. We would get beat on the rare occasion that we didn't get pressure on the quarterback or we couldn't keep contained. Like one of the touchdowns was because we got immediate pressure on C.J. Stroud. He was able to flush the pocket, which is the reason why he was the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft, or number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft, to the Texans. He gets out of the pocket, finds Marvin Harrison Jr. in the back of the end zone. Marvin Harrison Jr. can lose even the best of corners. Like that guy's tough to cover under normal circumstances. Now you got your quarterback in a scramble drill. Yeah, good luck. And so like touchdowns like that happen, or like coverage busted, like against Florida, we completely bid on a play action and there was a miscommunication. Like it was supposed to be like safety over the top and they both took the low route, things like that where they're not quite in tune with each other. And I think a year of experience will help that. They're just as athletic. They're going to be stronger and faster. And I'm excited about Bullard. I'm excited by Starks. I'm excited about Lassiter. I'm excited to see the direction. This is going to be a way more athletic secondary overall, which I'm very excited about. And they're going to make some plays. My man Nyland Green, man, that's our guy. We need to get him on the show. That's our guy, man. That's your guy, and you've really bought a lot of stock into Nyland Green since day one, dude. Since day one, I love it, man. I love it. So we'll get into all that. I'll tell you why I think, and I'm sure you agree because you played for him. But I'll tell you why I think Mike Bobo is going to keep this train rolling offensively. Like not like people are like, oh, you guys got Mike Bobo. Oh, it's Tennessee's turn now, man. You guys got Mike Bobo, man. You guys are going to go back to grunt and punt, and this offense is going to suck now. Nah, bro.
You adapt. Basically, you adapt or die. And
Bobo, I would say Bobo's more aggressive. In knowing him, you know him even better.
Yep. Yeah. 2 national championships in. I mean, you can't go backwards.
No, you can't. He'll have a similar scheme structure. Yeah. He'll have a similar scheme structure. He's way more aggressive. He is not afraid to tell Kirby to F off. Mm-hmm. He's about the only person in America that can do that. Him and Will Muschamp. So they're the only 2 people in this world. Yeah, like Mike Bobo can. I wish I was a fly on the wall. I wish I was on the headset channel when Kirby and Bobo were talking to each other, and Kirby tries his eat the microphone, yell at him, and Bobo's probably doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun times. It's a great time to be an athlete right now. Great time to be a Bulldog.
Yeah,
no matter what
it really is. No, but we'll get into all that on later episodes. We don't want to give you it all tonight because we still got some summer content left to fill. But we'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about it down the road. So enjoy our new set. And of course, it matches our intro a little bit better, and it gives us a new look, a new feel. And this is the next wave of the future. So catch us next time. But we are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network, presented by Betonline.ag and the RowOne Brand. We thank you for watching. Subscribe here down below in any one of these channels. YouTube, we're only 130 subscribers away from 500, which means we can monetize our channel. So be a friend, tell a friend there. Don't be shy. Find us anywhere you find your podcast, and also follow us on all social media. If you need a good Twitter follow, there you go, right there, over there, TroopStar28. Follow that one.
Yeah,
thank me later.
These streets, man. Hot girl summer out here. Y'all be careful.
Hot girl summer down there in South Georgia. Yeah, Mother Nature about to knock my power out for a long time today. Mother Nature was pissed up here in Tennessee. So I'm Corey Burton. That is Israel Troop. We are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network. So long. See you later. And until next time, have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July. And we'll see you back after you celebrate America. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Do you believe?